Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Unity of Wilmington's hybrid service. Please stand and join us in our welcome song and welcome each other as we are here. So sing and shake hands at the same time.
When all God's children get together, what a time, what a time, what a time. Just down by the banks of the river, what a time that will be. When all God's children stay together, what a time, what a time, what a time. All the angels in the heavens gonna join right along. What a time that will be. Rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, oh, rocking my soul. When all God's children stand together, what a time, what a time, what a time. All the hearts in the world gonna rise up as one. What a time that will be. What a time that will be.
Thank you, celebration singers. What a time it is, not a time it will be. We are here in it right now and right here. I'm Lainey Mauger. I'm your platform host for the day. Welcome to Unity of Wilmington, to all of you here and to all of you out there. It's a cloudy, somewhat sunny day here in Wilmington. We had rain for 2 days. We're building the ark, so it'll be fine. I'd like to introduce the people who are going to get this show on the road. We have Christopher Dean in the back, who does the sights and the lights and the sound. We have the celebration singers who bring us in and bring us out. Our speaker for the day will be Reverend Ellen Contento. You'll meet her shortly. Our musicians are Justin, Chris, and our music director, Katie Deese. Our soloist is Terrell Williams. Our prayer minister is Teresa Rodriguez. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Anybody here for the first time today? Yay, welcome. I'm glad you came out. Brave folk on this lovely Wilmington day. Anybody here for the second or third time? Good. Glad for coming back, and for all of us who keep coming and keep on coming, it's a grand place to be. Please join me in our principle of faith. There is only one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good omnipotence. From that we are, I am a beloved expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I am in the right place at the right time, right now. Teresa, the Daily Word.
Good morning. So this is a daily word publication. You can order it in Unity Village, or we have some copies out front for $3. Today is, whoops.
28th.
I'm sorry, I was all together. Okay, so today is May 28th, and the daily word is comfort, and the affirmation is loving memories comfort me. There may be days or maybe even weeks on the calendar when I find myself mysteriously feeling melancholy, or blue, only to realize the anniversary of someone or something I have loved and lost is approaching. Even when I don't realize it outright, a part of me remembers and responds. I can honor these feelings as a way to honor the people and places that have taught me and helped me evolve. Welcoming my feelings brings deep and abiding comfort. I carry those places and those people and places I love with me in the things I do, keeping their spirit alive. Gradually, I find smiles within the sadness. Revisiting treasured memories reveals the love within the loss. The presence of God is found within the gift of each moment, and I find comfort through my grateful heart. From the Bible, Psalms 119:76. Let your steadfast love become my comfort according to your promise to your servant. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. And now, Terrell.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's how I feel. And the old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Oh, stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of a pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Feeling good.
Oh my God. I bow to you. Who is not feeling good right now? Woo! Let's give Terrell another round of applause. Oh my goodness. Woo! I can't stop smiling. That was just so absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. So to take that feeling good feeling, we're going to take that into our meditation to get ourselves ready for our message. So I invite everyone just to take a nice deep breath in. After all that energy. And we are going to continue to feel good because God is good. And I am that divine expression of God, so I am good, and I can feel nothing but good all the time. And so we're going to go on a journey. We're going to go on a journey as the birds fly. And so as you are breathing in life, breathing in love, breathing in joy, see yourself soaring through the sky. Birds up in the sky. That is who I am in this moment. Seeing all the beauty of the world. Seeing the trees. Seeing the mountains. Seeing the cities. The country. There are no boundaries of countries as I fly across this beautiful planet. It is all just one thing, and I am a part of that. Feeling that oneness, that unity, as I take in my world. Knowing that whatever is above is below. And so I instantly become a fish in the ocean. And I am now swimming through blue crystal water, deep green aquamarine. The diversity of life is just amazing. And I am one with every single creature that I see, whether it's a fish, whether it's a sea urchin, coral. And as I swim, I see no boundaries from one sea to the next sea, from one country to the next country. It's just one big, beautiful ocean of love. And my heart just fills with joy. And I'm feeling so good. And as I start to bring my awareness to the truth that I am one with everything on this planet. The fish, the birds, the trees, the mountains, my fellow humans, and all of the animals. We are just one in this divine, beautiful thing that we call life. And it feels so good. And so let us take one more nice, long, slow, deep breath in. Release. Bringing our focus and attention back to our space here, back to today, back to this moment, ready and excited to hear our message. And when you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes. Right? Everybody do that. So know one thing I absolutely love about meditation? I like when you did that. Not only does it ground us and prepare us to hear the lesson, to hear the message, but it just feels so good. So what a perfect segue from the song that Terrell spoke. So, Indwelling Spirit, that is the name of my talk today. Let me get all my, what do you call this? My paraphernalia, there we go. That works too. My stuff, let me get my stuff. And I was smart enough to grab a water bottle today because I'm getting over a bit of a cold. You know, as I talked about last week, you know, divine humans, right? We are in this human body that is still susceptible to stuff. So I know in truth and spirit, I am perfect, whole, and complete. Let's all say that together. Perfect, whole, and complete. Yes, and I'm drinking some water to remind myself of that. All right, so indwelling spirit. So how many of you know that today is actually a Christian holiday called Pentecost? Oh, look at that. I thought I was the only one who didn't know. As many of you know, I was raised Jewish, so Christianity was not something I grew up with. It wasn't until I started studying to become a minister that I learned about Christianity. So I always look up what's the holiday for the day, and it was like, today is the Pentecost. I'm like, oh, okay, I better find out what that is. And so the Pentecost is a Christian holiday. It takes place on the 50th day after Easter, the 50th day. So I didn't count. I trusted that that was correct. And it commemorates the descent of the Holy Spirit upon the apostles and other followers. And it was when, right, the Spirit, the indwelling Spirit, came into the body. And it was interesting when we did our morning meditation, when we do our opening, 5 minutes before service, we gather over here, and anybody's welcome to join. We do a little prayer to start the service. There's a light, this one right there. And depending upon where you're standing, it feels like you're in the spotlight. And it was like, oh my God, that's what it must have felt like. Spirit coming in. And that was the beginning of what many Christians believe to be literally Christianity, the church and followers of Jesus Christ. So it was like, wow, that's so amazing. That, people didn't have that understanding before that. And it's interesting, too, because it was also during what's called the Festival of Weeks, or Shavuot, which is a Jewish holiday that celebrates the first harvest, the first fruits. So also the correlation between indwelling spirit, the seeds were planted by Jesus, and the first fruits. So here we are, indwelling spirit. And that is one of the principles of unity, that, God, there's one God, and we are that divine expression of God. So spirit is always within us, and we could never be separated from that. So I just gave you a little lesson there. Yeah. So let's take a look. My first quote today. So God's indwelling presence is always life, love, and power within us, ready to flow forth abundantly. Right? And this is from Emily Cady, who is one of the Unity Core teachers. Right? So if you haven't read her, she's absolutely incredible. And, here's the thing again, with Jesus and his followers, they were there for the Feast of Harvest. And according to Acts 2:2, filled the whole house where they were sitting. All of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in tongues as the Spirit enabled them. And I started to think about that, like what would that mean, speaking in tongues? And maybe it's for the very first time, that realization that God is within me. I no longer have to communicate through a high priest or communicate with a prophet to be able to connect to God. God is within me. I can have direct communion with God. And that is what we do too in Unity. We connect through God through prayer. So whatever it is that I want to know the truth about, whatever I need, perfect, whole, and complete, right, health, all I need to do is connect within. And, we connect, again, through the divine, through ourselves. Right? God is always working through us. Right? We come here, of course, to be reminded of that. And, we get with a prayer partner or a prayer chaplain to be reminded of that. But the truth is, all we need to do is go into prayer for ourselves and know that God is always within us. Right? So, actually, I want to go back. Because, yeah, there you go. You do that too. That's what we do when we want to rewind. When we watch somebody like Terrell get up and sing, or we watch somebody get up and play music, or somebody get up and speak, and we're just in awe of their talent, right? We think about, wow, that's what spirit looks like, expressing through that person. And it invites each and every one of us to ask ourselves, am I expressing who I truly am every day, right? Am I blowing up balloons? So good to see you, right? I saw you on Broadway. When you were standing up there singing, I was like, I can see him on Broadway. How many of you had that thought? I know I wasn't the only one who had that thought. Now, this man belongs on Broadway, right? And, we think about, all the people in the world that are expressing their highest, or the people that, are trying to just be heroes in their everyday life. And as we know, tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow is Memorial Day. So how many of you are visiting here because of Memorial Day weekend? Visiting family or friends? Okay. And so, because I know there's a lot of new faces today, I was wondering, is it because you're visiting from another place? Or is it because your barbecues are rained out? Is that why you came to church today? We'd love to know what brought you in today. Share that with somebody from the Welcome Committee, or certainly come up to me afterwards. Always love to know what brings people into a spiritual center. But we all want to be heroes, right? We want to be a hero in our own life. So on Memorial Day, we honor, men and women that were, killed during, war. And, how many of you had a family member that passed in a war? Okay, so a number of folks, yeah. My dad was in the Korean War, though he didn't die in the Korean War, but he was in the Korean War. The interesting thing, too, is many people don't know that Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day. It was originally called Decoration Day. And it started right after the Civil War, and it was named Decoration Day because people would decorate the graves of those that had fallen. And they used poppies because the poppy flower was the flower that grew in Flounders Field after the war. And so many times if you go to a grave site and you see poppies, that's the reason why. But what, got me thinking about Memorial Day is too often the only time we celebrate somebody's life is after they've died, right? After they've died. Right? Whenever I see something on TV, like recently it's Tina Turner who passed away, and there's all these, celebrations and talk about her life, and each and every time somebody's passed, that's when people come forward and say, oh, what an amazing person they were, look at how talented they were, look at all the things that they did. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Wouldn't it be nice if they could be there at their own funeral and hear all these wonderful things? Right? Like many people say, man, I wish I could be a fly on the wall at my own funeral because I want to hear what people are going to say about me. Why do we have to wait until, somebody's passed to share with them how amazing they are, how incredible they are, how talented they are, what a difference they made in our lives? Right? Now, obviously Memorial Day has become to mean way more than just going to a gravesite. What does Memorial Day usually symbolize in this country? Go ahead, shout it out. Start of summer, yep, that's one. What else? What? Patriotism. Grilling season. Yeah, it's actually on my list to go find a good sale. Sale was the word I was looking for, Memorial Day sales. But that's what all holidays have become about. Like, you know, we're going to have a big sale, Memorial Day sale. Right? It's going to be, the next one is going to be 4th of July sale. But it's officially the beginning of summer. And, you know, it's also one of the holidays where people go to grave sites. And, you know, I remember growing up when I'd go visit my grandmother after my grandfather had passed. And, of course, that's what we did. We would go to the grave site. We would bring flowers and put them on the grave site. And, you know, you think about, you know, this quote here, a hero is someone who has given his or her life to something bigger than oneself. And, of course, if you're going off to fight a war, you don't know if you're going to come back. You don't know if you're going to come back. And again, it got me thinking, how many of us are willing to give our own life to something bigger than ourselves? But that's because we're thinking of that really literally. Because the truth is, we are already giving our own life to something bigger than ourselves. Every day we're giving our energy, our time, to something outside of ourselves. And the question you want to ask yourself is, am I giving my precious life energy to the things that are most important, to the things that matter to me? Because we don't know if we have tomorrow, at least in this body. I know that my spirit's going to live on forever. Is yours? Yes, right? But we don't know if this experience, how long this experience is going to be here. So I don't need to literally die to give my life. I could be, you know, an everyday hero. What would be some examples of everyday heroes? Teachers. How many teachers in this room? Beautiful. Thank you. And online as well, go ahead and post what your profession is, how you're a hero in someone's life, in your own life, really. What else? We have firefighters. Anyone on the front line, in my opinion, is considered to be a hero. Right? Parents, board members, president of the board. Right? Anyone who's devoted to their passion could be called a hero. Because you're giving yourself over to that thing that you love, that you are called to do. There are many teachers in this world, spiritual teachers, that are absolutely called to do what they do. Right? They give over their life to that. So I don't want us to think about, you know, I have to literally go off to war and potentially give my life to be considered a hero. Each and every one of you is a hero. Each and every one of you. And that's actually our affirmation. So we're going to say that 2 times. Ready? I am a hero in my life. Again, I am a hero in my life. Beautiful, beautiful. So think about, right, how can we really be heroes in our own lives? Right, how can we? Every single day. So if we go back to this idea of changing Memorial Day back to Decoration Day, I'm all for that. We could decorate our spiritual home, which we did with the, you know, the garden planting we did a few weeks ago or a month ago. We can do that in our own homes. We can decorate ourselves. I love whenever Terrell sings because he's always decked out, looking good, right? Looking good. We can give more of our time, our talent, our treasure everywhere we go, not just at our spiritual center, but our neighbors, right? Our kids. We can give to those causes that are near and dear to our heart. Right? We can be more forgiving. That's another way to be a hero. Let it go. You know, those slights. Now, here's one. Are we willing to sacrifice our ego? Our ego for something higher and better. And by connecting to the indwelling spirit, we are giving ourselves over to something bigger than ourselves. So there's a whole hero's journey, and if you have ever read Joseph Campbell's book, Any movie that you watch has usually got the hero's journey in it. So there's that, everybody leaves home, right? Most of the people here did not come from here. I know there's a few of you that are from Wilmington. But so you all started on your own hero's journey, right? Somehow you had, to venture out into the unknown, overcome obstacles, and then come back home. But I'm going to say we're coming back home. That's what that's about. We're coming back home into who we truly are. Because the other truth is we are never separated from home. We take home with us, no matter where we go. We are always home. All right, so here's another great quote. We honor the dead best by treating the living well. Isn't that beautiful? Yes. So, ceremonies are really important. Obviously, we do want to honor the dead. We want to go to the grave sites. We want to, go to the Memorial Day parades, and we want to do all those things to honor the troops. But once a year is just not enough. It's not enough. And every generation, isn't that a song? Every generation has had its own war. It just, I'll be honest, it just breaks my heart that every generation, going way back, way back, that's the one thing every generation has in common, is a war. And we honor those that fight in the war. I want you to just think about that for just a second. I know I might ruffle some feathers here. We honor those that fight. We don't honor those that stand in peace. We don't celebrate those that are peaceful as much as we celebrate those that have fought and died. Right? And I shared with you last weekend about my experience in New York City, right? But we are always at war, it seems like, with each other for some reason. And even when you get on a plane, like before you board a plane, who gets to board first? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, right? Well, the pilot, thank you, Dr. Herbert. Hopefully the pilot's on there first. Or at some point the pilot gets on before we take off. But active military get to board first, even before first class now. Okay? And I don't remember when that started to happen. Right? So we're honoring, our military. And once again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't honor our military. I'm just saying this is part of our human consciousness, is this belief that we have to continue to fight. Right? As long as we keep fighting for something, there will be military. There will be military as long as we are fighting for something. As long as, we need to protect our borders or protect our homes, we are fighting for something. And as long as there's violence anywhere in the world, there's going to be military. You think it's possible to live in a world without the need for military or police? Right? So that we believe it, right? Are we going to realize that in our lifetime? When do you think peacekeepers will actually be about peace, right, versus keeping the peace? And as a matter of fact, there was something I wanted to read about that. This is Eric Butterworth in The Flow. So, there we go. Like Teresa, didn't quite have it ready. So, if we can turn on the light or get into the flow of transcendent love, a miracle of harmony and understanding may unfold. It has been said it takes two to make a quarrel, but what is not often realized is that it only takes one to commence the dissolution process. So it only takes one of us to start to create the peace. I need some more water. So who would have thought Jimi Hendrix would show himself at a Unity of Wilmington? Well, at least his quote did, right? So when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Absolutely. So like I said, instead of celebrating the dead on Memorial Day, right, we need to make more of an effort to celebrate having a peaceful world and the need for war. So there's a great exercise, actually. I'm not going to read through it, but I'm going to do it with you. That's in the Flow. I think it's in the Flow of Life. It's in one of the books, one of the many books, spiritual books that I'm reading. But it talks about how the difference within our own physical bodies. So whenever you put your hands out, make a fist, right, tight as you can. I don't want you to grimace. Right? Can you imagine if you walked around to greet each other this way? I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, "Hi, good morning." Right? You're ready for a fight. And that's kind of how we walk around. We're ready. Like, don't cross me, I'm ready. Now I want you to let your fist go. Just let your hands drop, just loose. Just let the tension release from your face. Now turn to your neighbor and say, "Good morning. How you doing?" Right? Do you feel like fighting them? No. Right? The tension's gone from your body. So we have to, recognize we're walking around most of the time ready for a fight when there doesn't need to be one. Each time you have an argument with someone, or you're ready to talk to somebody about something you think there might be an argument about, because you want to convince them that you're right, you're ready to fight them, as opposed to us just being receptive. Receptive. Because when we're receptive, we're more peaceful, we're more accepting, and we're connected to who we truly are, which is divine expression of God. And God is love. So if we're love, why are we walking around like this? Let it go. Let me do this. Just let it go. Yeah. Don't worry if you didn't shave. It's okay. It's okay. All right. I don't remember if I read that yet. Did I read that? I don't know. I did. I read something. In the Flow, I read that one, I think. Yeah, I did. Okay. So, again, back to, this idea of instead of having this need to celebrate after people have died, I started thinking, okay, I know we do celebrate people as they're alive or when they're alive. So I looked up, okay, what are some of those different celebrations? Well, obviously we have birthdays, right? Birthdays we celebrate. And, we celebrate graduations and we celebrate anniversaries and all of that. But there's also the Presidential Medal of Honor, which celebrates people when they're still alive. In the entertainment world, there's Cecil B. DeMille Lifetime Achievement Awards. Those are amazing, as well as, being inducted into the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Rock and Roll, and I'm probably the Hall of Spiritual Leaders. I don't know. Do we have one of those? We need to start one of those. Can you imagine if we had something like that and people aspired? I want to be inducted into the Spiritual Hall of Fame. We'd probably all show up in a very different way. So, let's do our affirmation again. Ready? 2 times. I am a hero in my life. Again, I am a hero in my life. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So, this is a very famous quote, right? Well, you might not know this one as much as the next one that I'm going to share. But this is from John Kennedy. He said, "I'm certain that after the dust of centuries has passed over our cities, we too will be remembered not for victories or defeats in battles or in politics, but for our contribution to the human spirit." Right? You pick up any history book. It's not about what we've done for the human spirit, for humankind, right? It's all about honoring those battles. But things are starting to change. I was watching the CBS morning news show, as I typically do on a Sunday, and they were talking about how they're starting to change the name of Confederate, forts and in different places around the country. And here in North Carolina, I think it's Fort Bragg, is now going to be known as Fort Liberty. Fort Liberty, thank you. I meant to write that down when I saw it this morning. But it got me thinking, like, okay, things are starting to change, and we're starting to recognize we want to honor those that are doing good work. We want to honor people that illustrate what our principles are and taking good care of each other, good stewardship of each other. So if we want to be known for our contribution to the human spirit, be kind. Remember the word, human kind. If you were here last week, you knew that you saw that quote that I did. The next step in being human is to be kinder. Let's just be kind, period. So we can be kind, we can be of service, we can help our neighbors. We could give more of our time, our talent, and our treasure. That's how we can give back to each other. Now, I was reading about this one organization for veterans in particular. It's called the Veterans in Residence Showcase. How many of you are familiar with that, from Bunker Labs? So they come together to rally business and civic leaders all over the country to help veterans and their spouses start businesses. And so that's another way to honor veterans, right? Honor those that have served in our country. And it's run by this organization called Bunker Labs. They're a 501c national network of veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs dedicated to helping their fellow Americans. So got me thinking about visions as well a little bit. So we can definitely find something that calls to us. So this is the one that everybody is familiar with. My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So this was his famous quote from his inaugural speech in 1961. And it got me thinking again, ask not what God can do for you, but what you can do as God, right? Indwelling spirit. So when we commune with God in prayer, we're not asking God to do anything for us. We are connecting with that divine that is within us that says, okay, how can I, as this indwelling, perfect human, how can I do better in this world? And when we come here on a Sunday or a Wednesday night or a Saturday morning, for whatever reason we come to our spiritual center, it's the same thing. Ask not what your spiritual home can do for you, but what can you do for your spiritual home? How do we show up in a place that we love to come to support it? And that's the other question we need to ask ourselves is, are we doing what we can to support our home? So whether it's your first time visiting and you're never going to come back because you don't live here, you could put, money in the basket. If it's your first time here and you live here and you liked what you heard, you can come back and support the center. Right? You can, join a committee, a team, a ministry. We call it many different things. But that's a way to support, a spiritual home. So, again, ask yourself, what can I do to support this community, this body, the people that I love, and the planet? So I'm going to finish up with our lesson that I've been sharing with you, which is that, we are never separated from spirit. The indwelling spirit is who we are. Man, body, soul. It is who we are. It is in us. We can never be separated from spirit. So whenever you're feeling down or low or out of the flow, you're not separated, you're just clogged. You're just clogged. Drink some water. And, right, love overcomes darkness. So, in closing, I have a passage from my favorite book, this thing called You. All right. The law of good is flowing through me. I am one with the rhythm of life. There is nothing to be afraid of. There is nothing to be uncertain about. God is over all, in all, and through all. God is right where I am. I am at peace with myself. I am at peace with everyone around me. I am at peace with the world in which I live. I am at home with the divine spirit in which I am immersed. And so with that, let us say our affirmation one more time. Ready? I am a hero in my own life. Namaste. You can do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I am a hero in my own life. Yes. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. All right, so move this back over here. It is now time for Divine Giving, our offertory. And we'll start with our mudra. So you can read it right off the slide there. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. All right, so there's baskets going around. There's also online and combination if you so feel called.
So you made a lot of mistakes, walked down the road a little sideways, cracked a brick when you hit the wall. Yeah, you got a pocket full of regrets, pull you down faster than a sunset. Hey, it happens to us all. When the cold hard rain just won't quit, can't see your way out of it. You find your faith has been lost and shaken. You take back what's been taken. Get on your knees and dig down deep. You can do what you think is impossible. Keep on believing, don't give in. It'll come and make you whole again. It always will, it always does. Love is unstoppable. Love, it can weather any storm, bring you back to being born again. Oh, it's a helping hand when you need it most. A lighthouse shining from the coast that never goes dim. When your heart is full of doubt and you can't find no way out, you find your life been lost and shaken. You take back what's been taken. Get on your knees and dig down deep. You can do what you think is impossible. Keep on believing, don't give in. It'll come and make you whole again. It always will, it always does. Love is unstoppable. Like a river keeps on flowing, like the north wind blowing. Don't it feel good knowing? Yeah, can get on your knees and dig down deep. You can do what you think is impossible. Keep on believing, don't give in. It'll come and make you whole again. It always will, it always does. Love is unstoppable. Because love is unstoppable.
Yeah, Terrell is definitely unstoppable. And love is unstoppable. And so here's what I know. This is unstoppable. Tithe, donations, love that is in these baskets, that is in the flow all the time to do its good work, to support our center, to support causes that are near and dear to our hearts out in the world. We say thank you, and with gratitude, I release my word, knowing it's done. And together we say, and so it is.
Wow, we are unstoppable. What a wonderful, wonderful service, and I'm so grateful that all of you are here to share with me today. We come to the end, almost. We have our announcements for the day. The first of which is that Teresa, who will be our prayer partner, will be over by the prayer box. So if you have a prayer request, or if you would just like to join her with some words of peacefulness, please join her, and she will pray with you. The prayer requests are prayed over here for 30 days, and then we send them out to Silent Unity for another 30 days. So get all prayed up, folks. This afternoon, after the service, Kirtan will be here for our meditation, our chanting service that lasts for about an hour. So please, if you haven't joined us for that, do so. It's a very interesting experience. You play timpani-type instruments, and it's fun, and you chant. It's very good. The Ladies' Lunch, which is a monthly socializing event that we have, will take place on June the 6th. It'll be at Johnny Luke's on the 6th at 12 o'clock, which is a Tuesday, and that is, there's a sign-up sheet in the fellowship hall, so if you'd like to join us for that, please sign up so we can get a big reservation going. Let's see what else is happening. We will be having the fall in June several events. On the 20th, we have a socializing evening at the Salt Cave. So if you've not participated in our Salt Cave experience, we have a discount ticket. That's also a sign-up. It's $20 as opposed to, I think it's about $35 for a 45-minute session. And it is, have anybody been in a Salt Cave before? Well, you know that it's a wonderful experience. Share the joy, share the wealth. It's very relaxing. It's very healing. Come and join us. The sign-up sheet is in the fellowship hall. And our prayer and meditation service in June, not yet this month, will be a walking meditation. Reverend Ellen will be leading that, and that will be on Wednesday the 21st, and that will be here. We will have a short town hall at the end of the second quarter of the year, and that'll be on Sunday the 25th. It'll be right after the service. It will catch everybody up on what's happening and where we are and going forward. And today we would like to be very appreciative of the tellers, the ones who count your treasures as they come in and help us pay the bills. There are 2 people every Sunday who count the money and have to be bonded to do that. So we have a core of about 8 people that count the pennies, and sometimes we're mostly accurate, but sometimes the bank tells us we missed, but we take what's the cash. So thank you for the tellers, and if you would like to be a teller, please let me know, and we'll get you vetted and get you trained to do that. And also, be grateful, we are grateful for each of us who donate any amount of time. I was given a formula the other day to count how valuable that is. If we look at every hour, say I spend 5 hours a week devoted to whatever's happening at Unity, and I look at minimum wage, that's $75 right off the top. One person, it's more than that, and there's more than one person. So that, in addition to our dollars and cents, is what keeps our spiritual home afloat and going and glowing. So now, would you please join me in our closing prayer? Thank you very much. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth,
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
let it begin and don't let it end with you. Honor those that you care about now in the moment. Spread your love, spread your joy, spread your peace. Have a beautiful Sunday, everyone. We'll see you back here next week. Namaste.